Hi, Wisdom Seekers. This is Dr. Sherry Shoemaker, Intuitive Grief Coach at Where Spirit Takes Me. In 1969, Dr. Kubler-Ross wrote a book about death and dying, and she defined 5 stages of death and dying that have maintained credibility and stability throughout the last 50 years, 60 years. It was an incredible book then, and it's still an incredible book. This was way before hospices in the United States, way before people really acknowledged that friends and families were affected by the death of a loved one. So you had the first one, the first stage is denial. You can't believe it happened. The last stage is acceptance. Okay, it happened. Now, what do I do the rest of my life? How do I live and move forward? Now that I know that this has really happened, the stages in between are stages that we go through multiple times throughout this process. Now, in her definition, and this is kind of a industry standard, that it would take a minimum of a year to go through the 5 stages. And it's maintained that even though people can take 20 years or never get over it, never move forward with their life. What I do with the training and the program that I have, it's a 3-month program. It's 12 weeks. And drawing on my experience, my lived experience, as well as my experience with working in healthcare, working in having my own acupuncture office, I know that I can move people through the stages within this 3-month program. It's a well-defined program, and it's personal. It's an individualized program for each person. So we define where you are now and where do you see yourself? Not just in the next moment, not just in a couple months, but where do you see yourself living the best life, and what does it look like? What does it look like for you? Because it's not going to be the same for everyone. And that is something that I learned with Oriental medicine and having an office and treating patients, treating those clients. I would have people come in who would tell me what they thought I wanted to hear, not necessarily what their problem was, because they weren't sure how to define it. They weren't sure what I did as an acupuncturist or how Oriental medicine worked. So they would tell me what they thought I would want to hear because they knew that I was a nurse and I would understand the Western medicine view. And so I would look at them and I would feel their pulse, and from my observation, I would treat them. And then I get a phone call the next day going, wow, I didn't know I felt that bad for that reason, but I feel great. I slept wonderfully. This really works for me. And so I have the ability to really observe a person, really intuit what is going on. And that makes a huge difference on how people are treated. The other thing is they would say, okay, they would come in for one treatment, say it was knee pain, something very simple like knee pain. I say simple, but it's not. I understand knee pain can be extraordinarily debilitating and difficult to fix. So I would treat them, and we would have a discussion about, well, what is the pain level? When does it hurt? And What can't you do now that you would like to do? So we would talk about it, and they would come back the next week and they go, well, this didn't work for me. And I'd say, well, okay, why don't you think it worked for you? Well, my knee still hurts. Well, first of all, I'd say, okay, so how long have you been going to your MD for your knee pain? Oh, 5 years. And he's had you on medication, right? And you still can't garden or walk up a hill or do these things. Right. So you've had one treatment for me, and you're telling me that acupuncture doesn't work because after one treatment, you are not cured. So I'd make a joke and I'd say, well, if I could work miracles, I would certainly have to charge you a lot more money. Then I would say, okay, well, tell me what you did today. And they would say, or tell me what you did in the last week. And they'd go, well, you know, the weeds in my garden were just driving me crazy. And so I weeded for 4 hours on Saturday on my knees. Oh, really? And you had just told me before we started that you could not get on your knees and weed without extreme pain. Oh, okay. I guess you're right. I guess this is working. So this is the approach that I use with my clients. We define, we refine, and we redefine. And I help you stay on track. I'm a coach. I'm not a therapist. I don't want you going on and on and on and just staying in the same place. I want to help you by observation, by giving you activities and practices and awareness that you can use forever as you go through your life to bring you joy and happiness. So please look at my website, wherespirittakesme.com. Subscribe to my YouTube channel because I will continue to give you information through YouTube. And be curious, be inspired, be the best you can be.